Hello, I'm Brian Fox. Welcome to I Hate Rock Music. And I took a couple months off, and now I'm going to go back to doing videos. And in this case, it's another of my series of great lost rock albums I still dream about. And in this case, it's not really a full album, but I still dream about it. And that is the fact that the proto metal band from New York from 1971 to 1972, although they got together in 1969, actually recorded a four-song demo tape in 1970 in a small studio in New York, and they have never been released. And one of the reasons why it's particularly fascinating for me and alluring, of course, four songs that didn't show up on either of their albums. So there is a four-song demo of four unheard songs by Dust floating around out there. Richie Wise, I assume, has a copy, and he talks about it in an interview, and it really whets my appetite. And this is one of the things I do hate about rock music: the fact that the both Dust albums were remastered and reissued as a single CD several years back, and they didn't include these demos. And it just really chaps my ass that some of these people that get involved in these things don't have the foresight to know what a great addition, what a treasure that would have been to add as bonus tracks on the Dust CD. And the other component of that, of course, unfortunately, is that Richie Wise had a lot to do with having this Dust CD put out with both albums, and he apparently was not for putting the demos on there for unheard songs. And I definitely doubt that they're subpar, and I think any Dust fan would just explode. Their head would explode hearing four songs after over 50 years that by Dust that they'd never heard, and the fact that they predate the first album makes them all the more interesting. In the interview with Richie Wise, he does talk about the fact that he was writing a lot of material, and so there was a lot of material that he wrote that didn't end up on either album, and that they would write songs, play them, and occasionally go out and do them live, and then they would move on to newer material. And in fact, even when they were out there playing live, they kind of stuck to a lot of material from the first album, including a 20-minute version of From a Dry Camel. And so, anyway, I guess since the Dust CD is remastered and has come out, there doesn't seem to be any vehicle for these Dust demos to ever be released, and that's a sad thing. I wish I didn't even know about them, because now I'm always thinking about the fact that there's four Dust songs out there I've never heard. As long as I'm doing this video, I'll also add that there's been legends that Dust were working on a third album when they broke up, and apparently that's not true. Once again, in Richie Wise interviews, he talks about the fact that he was writing a lot of material for a third album, but they never really got around to recording it, and that may be true or not. And there may or may not be demos for a third album, but if Richie Wise is not up to releasing four completed demos from 1970, he certainly probably wouldn't be interested in releasing any demos of material projected for a third album. A third album would have probably come out at the end of 1972 or early 1973. And considering the trajectory from the first Dust album to Heart Attack, it's interesting to speculate about what that third album would have sounded like. And of course, they moved from being a totally heavy band on the first album. There's a lot more variety on the second album, and they're well aware of that. So I would assume if they'd moved on to a third album, it probably would have had a lot of variety like the second album, Heart Attack, and they would have shown a lot more sides of the band. And it's really unfortunate that that didn't happen. But to go back to the demos, of course, when the band recorded the first album, they were still in high school. Richie Wise was only 21 by the time they broke up in 1972. So any demos they recorded in 1970, they probably would have been 16, 17 years old, with astounding technical ability, and the fact that they were younger and they were influenced by all these great proto metal hard rock bands around in the era. It seems like those unreleased 4 songs from the demo would probably be pretty ferocious, especially considering what they did end up recording on their first album. So anyway, not a big deal in this video, and certainly not a full lost album. But there might be some people out there that don't know that there is a 4-song demo from 1970 by Dust, and so they can long for it and dream about it just like I do. So anyway, wow, unreleased Dust demos from 1970. I'm Brian Fox. Thanks for watching I Hate Rock Music.